All right, it's 11. My name's Jim Reed, and I run Next Level Coaching. Next Level Coaching has been an internal program for Summit Funding for a long time. I've been running it since the Core and Rick broke up, which I think is almost 4 years. I don't really remember, but it's somewhere around that time. I've been running it, and we've been growing it, and we just took it outside of Summit. It's a completely different company now as of this month. Yay! So if you're a member, you're going to sign something that says you realize it's a separate company now. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything at all. But I have to prove that I told you it's a separate company, of which one of our coaches is Loren LaVassaur. Loren has been a loan officer and she's been at Summit Funding for how long, Loren?
10 years.
Wow, 10 years. And what did you start off as?
A personal assistant.
So you were a loan partner one. There's only 3 jobs: originator, LP1, and LP2. Sometimes an LP1 job gets divided up. So she was doing a piece of the LP1 job, and then she grew, started helping with loans, started meeting with clients, and became her own originator. How long you been originating?
Since January of 2020.
Wow. So all of 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So 5 years.
Yep.
Wow. You just hit the 5-year mark. I think the 5-year mark is huge in this business as a realtor or a lender. Once you make it 5 years, I don't want to tell you it gets easier, but it gets more likely you're going to make a lot of money because you've got some established relationships. And by then, if you've made it that long, it means you're committed. And if you're in our program, you're continuing to sharpen your skills. And that's what I love about Loren. She's always sharpening her skills. About 6 months or a year ago, I don't remember how long, but she decided she was going to just do better. She's going to give it more effort. She was going to do what she was asked to do, and she was going to not resist. So really what she was going to do is surrender and be coachable. And since then, she's blossomed not only as an originator, but as a speaker, a coach, and she's a great mom and a great wife. So what I want you to learn from her is the way she builds rapport and the questions that she asks. And last, I want you to pay attention to how committed she is to growing her business from Tuesday updates. She's one of the very best that we have and one of the very best I've seen because she committed to it. So with that, I'm turning it over to Loren LaVassaur. Thank you for doing Coach's Corner. Give it up for Loren.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go.
We're going a different direction with this one, Jimmy.
Well, you do what you want, girl. I'm gonna watch.
Yeah. I've got Tuesday updates. I've got a whole series or a whole. I will be on stage at the event talking about Tuesday updates and how it changed my business specifically in 2024. But today I wanted to do something a little bit different. And so I'm gonna start with a story. Marjorie, you know this agent, so this might be a little bit funny for you. So I called an agent, and those of you that have been coached by me, which is actually quite a few of you at this point, in the last 2 weeks have heard this story. So I do apologize in advance. I have a point here. I called an agent on a Monday a couple weeks ago, and she says to me, she just comes off ablazing. She's already fired up, and she's like, I am sick of all these lenders calling me. And I go, all right, girl, well, you want me to go ahead and hang up? Like, where are we at here? What are we doing? She's like, I'm on my way to my Pilates, but I will tell you, all of these lenders are calling me and I'm so frustrated with it. And I said, well, tell me why. What are they saying? What's got you so frustrated? And she says, all of them are asking me to coffee. And they're calling me at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m. And they're trying to book a coffee with me. And she's like, and what's funny is that I've had my coffee. I've had my coffee by 6 a.m. I don't need more coffee. I don't need you to tell me about a program. I don't need you to sit there and, excuse my language, bullshit with me. I don't need any of that. She says, what I would really love for someone to do, and she is heated, she's rolling. So just so Marjorie, this is Cheney, just so you know. And she's rolling. And she's like, you know what I am trying to do during the day? Make my 10 phone calls. You know what I am trying to do during the day? Get 10,000 steps in, or get my protein in, or make sure that my workout is done. right? And so as she's telling me this, she's just going off. She's one of the best agents I know. She's high end. She's not in my area, so I really can't even ask her to coffee, which was the funniest part about it. And she goes, Lauren, do you like going to coffee? And I said, well, I love coffee. I do love coffee. What I hate is the cold call asking someone to coffee. And she said, Lauren, do me a favor. Spend time on the things that you love doing, not coffee. And I wrote it down and I looked at it and I looked at it again and it was on my call sheet and it just I just kept writing it down. Spend time on the things you love, not coffee. Spend time on the things you love, not coffees, right? And I'm looking at it and I've taught on it and I've said these things. And what occurred to me during this is that I will call randomly agents, listing agents, whoever, and ask them to coffee. And sometimes they show up, sometimes they cancel, sometimes it's like an awkward hug, and I'm like, yeah, that didn't go very well. Sometimes we connect and it's great. But what occurred to me is that when they cancel, I feel a sense of relief because I really hate the coffee appointment. I really do. And Jimmy may be upset with me for saying this or coaching
No,
on
I
this.
hate them too, girl. I hate them. I
Okay.
hate them. When they flake, I love it.
Yeah. So
Don't tell
so
anybody. Shh, that's our secret.
yeah, that's our secret. So I'm talking to Chris Clark yesterday about it. He's my coach, and he says, "Well, what do you hate your job?" And I said, "No, I don't hate my job. There are plenty of things I love about my job." And he says, "Well, tell me what those things are." And I go, "Okay." I said, "Get on my call tomorrow on," and I don't know if he's here, but get on my coaching corner tomorrow, and I'll tell you what I love about my job. In the invite is the sales test. And I freaking love this thing. So this is the lender sales test. So I apologize for realtors. I don't think that, and this may work for realtors too, but there is the sales test, right? And if we are all being 100% honest with ourselves, we will sit at the 10X Sales Summit in May, and you better all be signed up. And we will sit there and we will fill this thing out and we'll mark, I don't know, 10 to 15 things yes, and the rest no, and then look down and go, why am I not making $300,000 a year? And we'll blame the market, and we'll blame the times, and we'll blame the president, and we'll blame, right? Like, or the agents or something like that. And what I would encourage you to do is sit there as if there is no one else in the room, just you and a highlighter, and honestly highlight every single thing that you do on that sales test 100% of the time. Because the minute I did that, the minute I was 100% honest with myself, I was doing about 3 or 4 things 100% of the time. With vigor, might I add, like with excitement. This is our job description right here. If someone says, what do you do? And you say, I'm a loan officer, this is literally, or if someone wants to be a loan officer and they say, well, what do you do as a loan officer? This is literally our job description, right? But I also recognize that it's nearly impossible to do all, what do we have on here? 22 things. And so if you are being honest with yourself and you look down and you say, I'm doing about 4 of these things or 2 of these things, or maybe it's even 5, 100% of the time, then I would bet that your income level actually matches what's at the bottom, right? And we're probably, none of us at this point are very happy with it. So what I decided to do, I'm still going on coffee dates. I just actually got back from one. The coffee is right here. I just got back from a coffee date. It was with an agent that I actually absolutely adore, and we had a great time, and I will go on the coffee dates. But my point here is that of the 22 things, if you're only doing 3 or 4 of them, there are likely 5, 6, 7, right? More things that you could cross off and do at 100%, as opposed to trying to do all 22 of them at 25%, or one at 50% and one at 15%, right? So my topic today is make the sales test your own. Make your business your own. I am not Justin St. Clair. I am not good at teaching classes every single week in masterminds. I mean, I might be, but it's not what brings me joy, so I don't do them. Jason Gillespie, so good at realtor relationships and being friends with them and hosting happy hours and lunches. That's what brings him joy. Does not bring me joy. You know, it does bring me joy is reading a business book every month and then sharing what I learned about it. And growing myself both as a person and as a businesswoman. The other thing that brings me joy that I was not doing in 2021, 22, or 23 for that matter, is sending videos. What's funny is I would mark yes, I sent videos. I would send them every once in a while, or I would post a reel every once in a while, and I would mark yes on the sales test. But if I was being truly honest with myself, the answer was no. I was not doing it consistently. What does it say? It says send 200 video emails per month. I wasn't doing that, not nearly that, but I would always mark yes. But what I have found is that I truly love my little desk here that I've got, this little corner that I'm able to sit in and make dreams happen. And if I can send a video to now over 1,300 agents once a week and my whole database of closed loans once a month, I am a happy camper. I don't consider it cheating. And the reason I don't consider it cheating is because I am not impactful in the areas that I do not enjoy. So now, if you are in fact like being honest with yourself and saying, like, I bet you all of us mark yes on I talk to at least 60 people every week. All of us would try to mark yes, right? Because we turn in our homework and try to put on there 60 talk tos. Maybe you did 60 dial outs, but are you truly talking to 60 people a week, right? That brings me joy because I can do it in my four corners. That does not bring other people joy. And so maybe they need to do videos where they're not doing videos, right? So there are just a couple different things here. So I'm gonna go through it real quick. I see 15 borrowers or realtor partners face to face every single week. Does anyone feel when after they meet with a client this certain like pickup when you meet with a client, not a realtor? Do you feel this certain like joy after you meet with a client, even if you're telling them they can't buy a house? Do you ever feel that in the pit of your belly? I do. I love meeting with clients face to face. And so in 2024, I made it a non-negotiable that I would see every single client, no matter the credit score, no matter the income, no matter the age, nothing, that I would meet every single client face to face. Because it lifts me up, it brings me joy. I love seeing clients face to face. And so that one, absolutely, I can mark 100% yes. I used to mark yes that I would send 10 thank you cards out every week. You know who's really good at that is Mr. Gillespie. He always has his basket of thank you cards, even when he's traveling. The man is brilliant at it. I've never been good at it. I automated it. I can tell you how I automated it at another time, but it just didn't bring me joy. I would still circle yes. Look at him go. Right? Because I'd send maybe two. I'd send a birthday card. I'd send a random one every once in a while. Yeah, I'm sending thank you cards. I love that, bro. And I'd rather send a thank you video. That's how you make the sales test your own. I'd do that. Let me write that down. I dial out 20 times per day. I'm funny in the way that I need accountability. I think we all do. I think a lot of you have probably seen this sheet before, but I need a whole lot of accountability when it comes to dialing out. And so Miss Tracy Ricketts created this sheet here. It says 30 outbound calls per day or pay $100. And I do love Clock's tactic there. 30 outbound calls a day or pay $100. Whenever I'm down on leads, because I am not I don't want to say I'm not self-motivated, but I'm the type of person that will just sit here and work on files. I've already admitted I like my little corner right here. When I'm down on leads or down on face-to-faces or down on appointments, whatever the case may be, my assistant will hand me this sheet. And if I don't make 30 phone calls, then I owe her $100. She doesn't abuse it, which is great because she could, but so I have made, right, the dial out 20 times a day. I've made it for me, something that works for me. So make it work for you. A lot of the assignments that I will assign is if you don't know who to call, if you're just starting out in business, I do this for agents all the time that I'm coaching. I'm trying to get them in with Marge, but when I'm coaching agents, I say you literally start at A in your phone book and work your way down. That may be what works for you. There is no shortage of people to call. I snail mail to my database of at least 400 people 4 times a month. You know, Jimmy Reed gave this assignment to me, Jasik, and Krish Neal, who doesn't work here anymore, Krish Neal Sharma, when we were being coached by him. Jasik, do you still do that? You do?
EOS. I do an EOS.
It's something that I stopped. And it's something that very easily now, even as I'm looking at this, that I could just start again, right? Very, very easy. I'm not trying to overwhelm you guys with tactics. What I'm trying to tell you, again, the point of this call was make the sales test your own, right? I call my past clients every week and perform annual reviews. This one's easy. I don't know if you guys are doing this, but I'm doing this. Surefire, you can have marketing create a list for you so you get an email every single day about past clients. I've asked that they send it to me on Thursdays. So anybody that's closed 1 year, so 7-day period a year ago, I will call them on Thursdays. That's just what ended up working for me. And I get the list directly from marketing. It was a very easy email to send. It's a very easy email that I get. I'm making it work for me. I repeat, I do not meet 80% of listing agents in person. Jasik just shook his head at me. What's funny is that I have 5 real estate agents in the state of Washington that refer me consistently, and I am not in their area. That is because of Tuesday updates, being consistent, my rate video that goes out every Monday, and the connections that I make on the phone. But I hate the blind date coffee. So I'm going back to that. I hate the blind date coffee. So I could go through the rest of this. I do a happy hour every month. I take advantage of the mastermind as my lunch and learn every month. Obviously, past clients are surveyed for us. I have a birthday program for agents. I do not have a birthday program for past clients. My birthday program for agents, I do want to touch on here for just a second because I do want to give you guys tactics. So I was, for agents, sending a bouquet of flowers for every agent's birthday. Or I was sending, Jasik got me hooked on, there's like a delivery for liquor, and I forget what it's called. My assistant did it, but it would average somewhere between $40 and $60 per agent. And that's what I was doing. Well, first quarter's been a little bit rough. Don't know about you guys. Don't know if you've seen the 10-year, but yeah, it's been a little rocky, right? So what I've decided to do instead is birthday cake Oreos. They cost exactly $4 at the Target. and I deliver it to their office. Good news, Oreos stay good forever. So they can sit in their mailbox, and you can also send them an email and said, I dropped by with a goodie for your birthday. Happy birthday. And then I also post about them on the Team LaVassaur Instagram. So there are things on this list that I have made my own. There are things on this list that I'm still not doing. That's what it is. Thank you, Jasik. But I'd love to hear from some of you guys. Like, did it resonate with you when I said, when we take the sales test in a big room, we typically will mark more things that we think that we're doing than we're actually doing 100% of the time, and then wonder why our income doesn't match the math at the bottom? Did that resonate? Because we're not doing it at 100%. It's because we're not doing it with vigor and excitement. Or we just want to tell our branch manager that we're actually doing it and we're not actually doing it. My branch manager is Robin LaVassaur. It's hard to get anything by her, but I think that we can all resonate with that. So Jasik, is there anything, you're just right on my screen. Is there anything on the sales test that you have taken and done and made your own, or anything that you're not doing that you feel like you want to start doing? Like what have you taken so far?
The biggest one this year is I never had a target list of 10 producers that I'm actively pursuing. So that's the one thing that Jim made me do at the beginning of this year, that it's already paying dividends. So I think that in the good times, I lost the hunter mentality. I was more of a gatherer or a keeper of realtors. And it's like not controlling your own income, if that makes sense. Like if you just keep all the realtors that you currently have, they are in control of your income, if that makes sense. Like if you're not doing account acquisition, how many deals they do determines how many deals you do. So anyways, that was the biggest thing, is I realized like this last 2 years, it was hard for us, but it was really hard for realtors too. And so if you didn't grow and look for more, your low realtors that were giving you, 1 to 2 deals a year, they weren't giving you anything. And then your good realtors, your accounts that were giving you 4, 5, they were giving you 2 or 3 or less.
Yeah.
A lot of my not a lot, some of the realtors I worked with that were like decent, what I would call accounts, like 4 plus a year, were like literally had to get jobs, outside of real estate because they couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I played pity party for a while and waited for him. And then eventually Jim and I had a conversation, and he was like, dude, you need to be pursuing 10, you need to add 10 realtors in the first half of this year. So that's been the biggest one. And it works. Had to
And you're
refine my
really good
sales
at that,
skills.
right? And you're really good at the face-to-face, the meeting. You're very good in person. You make friends with anybody, and everyone feels welcome when they're around you. I would argue that I don't have the same warmth that you do, especially in crowds that I'm not familiar with, right? And so I think that I have to find, and this is the point of my call, other ways to make that exact same thing happen.
I think, don't overplay my my skill set. I think what I learned when adding new realtors was that I didn't have the sales skills that I thought I had. And I mean, I called on a pretty big realtor that we know, but anyways, and I had a call with him Friday, and I just felt like I didn't even know. I knew what to say, but it's like I couldn't get it out. I was like intimidated. It was a weird call, even knowing the person. So it's been teaching me like, hey, I've got to refine my sales skills. I've got to have a system when I go into an appointment and a plan. And sometimes I've got to be able to, Robin's really good at pivoting. Like I can make a plan and prepare, but like Robin is the kind of person that literally can go in, fly by the seat of her pants, have the right questions, and then one answer will give 3 different questions, 3 different options but that only happens from reps. That only happens from talking to thousands of people. And so, yeah, of course, I'm a fairly like gregarious personality, and I'm not scared to talk to people, but I still need to refine my sales skills, just like everyone on this call.
Sure. Brian Riley.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, Marge, go ahead.
Quick. Have you guys thought about sharing? We have the realtor sales test too. I'm sorry, I know I'm a realtor. This is the lender corner I'm speaking, but have you thought about sharing we have the realtors, I turned it into the sales life and organization test. Have you thought about reaching out to them and saying, I have this cool test and wanted to see if you would be interested in taking it and, going over things. And to me, I think sometimes we overthink it, right? Like, I think, like, Jacek, if you called me, I mean, maybe I'm not like everyone and some people are tougher, but I think when we overthink the call and so let's just be super honest. What the hell does a big realtor really mean? I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, people are like, oh, he's a really big realtor. Okay. But you're trying to connect with them. Why? Right. So to me, it's like, listen, right now, realtors are killing it or struggling. It's just the truth. It's one of the two. So if they're killing it, I'd want to know what they're doing that's really working and how they're taking great care of their clients. And if they're struggling, I want to know, gosh, is there something you want to meet? I work with realtors across the country and we've got some fun ththings we're doing. I know it's not really fun right now. Like, I think sometimes we overthink it. Like, you're just trying to connect with me as a person. And I know we're all different, but I pulled out the realtor one, right? And I'm going through it right now and also being honest about, I'm not really doing that super well. And I'm thinking, gosh, why wouldn't you guys reach out and say, hey, we have this super cool, I don't know if you like doing assessments or quizzes or tests, but we've got one on businesses. And, if you're killing it, chances are you're doing all of these. And if you're not, there's some tactics here to help you.
Are you a high I, Marge?
I am a high I, but I'm also a big old D.
Me too, but the I is higher, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I struggle with people who are a little less on the I. And I think that person was that, if I had to guess without really fully asking all the questions, because it was very bit. Not that I can't get businessy, but it's, yeah. Anyways, different personalities and types is what I like. I can connect with a high I realtor. Like, if you were in Washington, I think I would work with you because we would connect a lot. I love the business side of it. I can execute at the highest level, but I want to get personal, and not all realtors want that.
It's true. But I think we don't necessarily want it when we don't know you yet. And then if we get to know you well enough, then because do you think I want to call anyone and go, God, it sucks right now? Right? Like, I want to be killing it. And I want, you think I'm cool and I think I'm cool because, we're salespeople. So I think some people, they're not going to open up to you first call. But, I think, to me, if they're going to be someone that you're going to connect with and do business with, they're going to have some desire to connect with you. Because if they blow you off, frankly, you might as well find out quick that they're not looking for anything you got to give. Right. So to me, it's like, and look, realtors aren't having a lot of fun either. I'll send in the test for realtors.
It should be on our website, right? It should be on the Next Level website.
It should be. I'm actually modified as we're talking because I'm looking at it and going, ooh, I need to. So I'll play with it a little bit more and send another version in because it may also have some questions that will help you guys.
Yay, I love that. Brian Riley, I was going to call on you. So you do really, really well at open houses, right?
Working on it.
I'm coaching you. I know that you're good at them and you enjoy them, right?
To a certain extent, yeah.
Sure.
It's a matter of like getting myself out of the house to go do it. But once I'm like out and walking into a house, then yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I honestly like walking up to somebody. For me, is much easier than picking up the phone. Like,
yeah.
I got to work on the phone skills, but walking up and having a conversation is a hell of a lot easier for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So isn't that funny how we're opposites in that way, right? Like, I open houses, not my thing. I hate it. It's my assignment. Thank you, Mr. Clock, this week for coaching. So he's getting me out of my shell a little bit, but I'd much rather sit here and make 30 outbound phone calls than I would go to open houses, right? So what's something, and you can be vulnerable or you don't have to if you want to pass this question. What's something on this list that you just said, right, dialing out, but is there anything else on this list that you're currently not doing that you feel like you could make your own?
To make my
outside
own.
Of
the one that I'm
outside of
looking
team,
at
friend,
is like the snail mail list.
Yep.
I actually was talking to an agent that I'd known her before. She's an agent before I was lending. And we bonded our previous line of work. We'd like to go out to dinner. And full disclosure, Lauren's my coach, and she chewed my ass for my dining out bill in my budget last month. But I thought Lauren and I can have this conversation. Sorry, this other Lauren, who's the agent. She sends one out kind of based on where her and her husband go out. to dinner and like things they go and do in Kansas City locally. And she's like, you and your wife, Darby, go out all the time. You should be doing the same thing. I'm like, well, yeah, that's easy. Just take a picture of the outside of, restaurant or coffee shop or wherever we're going on the weekend or whatever's happening and have a monthly just email that goes out because the agents and, clients, and, Kansas City's a big, small city. And, I don't think anything kind of connects with people, make it at least a little bit interesting and real estate adjacent,
Yeah. I won't get mad at you.
I'm just kidding. A little bit.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Jeffrey Nielsen, you're newer to Summit, but as I'm going through this, what's going through your mind, friend?
Ooh. Well, I won't go into what I was doing. I was just making painstaking phone calls. And when I hear you say, what do I love to do? What don't I love? Like the open house, I identified with that. And Amanda instantly is like, you want to go on Saturdays and Sundays? I was like, no, don't break the moment. I'm just saying, like, if you said make these calls or go to the open home, one does the other. I would go to the open home. I love just making the most of moments like that. But because it's Saturday and Sunday, I haven't even thought about it, right? And but if we're being honest, like there's things that I love to do and I need to spend more time doing that, like making calls. I'm finally started using the tracker and trying to painstakingly go through it. And it's been hours, and I think I've got 10 calls. 10. And I just don't feel great. It doesn't make me feel great at all. But I did it, but I hate every second of it because it's not efficient. And so inefficiency drives me nuts, and I'm taking us off the rails here. I apologize. So anyway.
You're not. No, again, my point is not that there are things that I want to be clear. I'm not saying that there are things that we can't, or that we don't have to do as a result of wanting to do another one. Okay. So like, I want to be very clear about that. My point here is making it your own and doing the pieces of it that you love, right? Like I mentioned, I did go to a coffee this morning and I've had one every week, but it's not a brand new agent or a brand new listing agent that I've called. And maybe that's the wrong choice, but that's the choice I've decided to make. Jeffrey, you can make 10 outbound calls in an hour and a half every single day. Right? I mean, and have these conversations, get it out of the way, but then do all the other things that you love at 100%.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I love the fact that all of us have discussed different ways to do things. The thank you video, right? The very first one, I was like, yeah, why not FaceTime more of my agents and clients? Just get them face to face, like take that face to face up. So, yeah, I'm going to finish some of this honest assessment and tweak it, but I got a lot out of it. So thank you.
And be honest, right? That's the biggest thing. Cause I tell you, you sit in that big room and you've got two top producers on either side of you, and your first inkling is start to circle. Yep. And then, but we all know that, I mean, Marge, even in the core, I bet like, people would mark 15 things and you're just like,
how are you?
Are you?
Well, you would also coach him, and I'd be like, you big liar, you a big fat liar.
Right. Yeah.
You do not, but again, you feel pressure, but it's also right. Like, it's like, if it says every week, that's the thing, right? If you do it every other week or once a month, that's not every week. And so you can't say yes. That's where the truth comes in.
Yep. Yep. Melanie, what's something on this list that you feel like you could add that would bring you an immense amount of joy?
I kind of like y'all's idea about the video. I did one letter from the heart one time.
Okay.
And I got a real good response. But like I put in my notes that my husband and I went on a Sunday drive one day on Sunday. And we went to somewhere that in the area, but somewhere we'd never been before, and ate at a restaurant we'd never eaten at. It was just a hamburger place. But it was really good hamburger, and I could just share that with him in a video. And I have a hard time with video though.
Why? Are you better face to face? Are you like or are you better in writing?
Yes.
Okay, then write it.
Yeah. I've done one of those before, and I was real surprised at the feedback I got. It was really good.
Why'd you
So,
stop?
I don't know.
And nothing will ever, you're never gonna find any sort of results if you only do something once, right? But if you
Right.
got good feedback from it, girlfriend, keep going.
Yeah. I just don't think about, the everyday things we do that would be interesting to my clients. But like the Sunday drive, that was something that wasn't, you know, we don't do that all the time. And we ate at a new hamburger place and it was really good. And, that's something I could share. I guess I feel like I don't know what to share or don't have something that really anybody else would be interested in.
I'm sure there are plenty of things that you do on a daily basis that people would be interested in. I would encourage you to, this is going to be my homework assignment for you. I would encourage you to read a few, and maybe he can send them to you, Mark Massa's Letter of the Heart. For those of you that receive them and don't read them, I am telling you right now, read Mark Massa's Letter of the Heart. Okay, they are brilliant every single freaking time. I don't know how the man does it. I am not articulate with my words when it comes to Letter of the Hearts, but Melanie, how long have you been in the business?
25 years.
You have more evidence of successes that are 3 to 5 sentences. That's the same thing. Doesn't have to be this year, this month, it doesn't have to be any of that. It could literally be a story from 10 years ago, right? About the single mom that you got into a home and they still live there today. Like it can be something like that. Like again, I'm going to say this again, make it your own.
Yeah, I like that.
As opposed to doing nothing. I'm not saying you're not working every day, so don't mistake that, right? But as opposed to not doing something on the sales test that we just found out that you can write an evidence of success or shoot a quick 30-second video on an evidence of success and start marking that as yes instead of no.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Right? I'm not good at. Go ahead,
Mark. Just give you guys one hint too. So I think like anytime the rates change, right? Like and I'll see, because I'm friends with a lot of lenders, like I'm gonna make this up. Rates are 6% today, and people will post that. And then 75 other, well, I'm just saying, but they're 6 3/4, whatever they are. It'll be like, oh, rates are 6 3/4, and then 98 other lenders post that. The problem is it's a vacuum stat that sounds great, but half the people are like, weren't they already? Or gosh, that's still too high, right? So if you say, hey, I'm going to make all this crap up just to be clear, but rates are 6 3/4, which means, so guys, what does this mean to you? If you are thinking of buying based on 2 weeks ago, your monthly payment, again, I'm making crap up, is $200 a month less. And if you bought a house at 8%, it's time for you to refi. Like if you guys would just add a little something to
application,
a basic stat, because again, I'm even a realtor and I'm like, oh, rates have come down significantly. What the hell does that mean? Okay. But they're not 3%. And so I think if you guys personalize a stat, because then if Lauren or Jasek or whoever, right, gets on and says, so everyone's hearing, by the way, rates are this. Here's what matters. So if you had a rate at this, let's talk about refinancing. If you've been thinking of buying, it saves you $300 a month compared to 2 weeks ago. That's going to give me some point of reference that I have to give a crap. So I think if you're trying to figure out what to say in a video, you guys all know what that means because you're all in your little lender rooms and you get the rates every day and all this shit makes sense to you. But to the rest of the world, right? Take the noise and make it something that I can then rely on you and say, oh, Lauren always tells me, right? Lauren gives me all this helpful information on what that means, or I can take this, or I can go to work and tell a friend, hey, didn't you just buy a house? You might want to refi because I heard this, right? You're going to get a lot more specifics if you post a stat with a reason or a story that I connected to you rather than I could just Google that. So just a hint, if you guys are trying to figure out what to say, understand it makes sense to you, but to most of the general populace, they're like, okay.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I try not to quote interest rates in my videos.
Whatever it is. But again, you guys, it's like I've been a realtor 29 years. All this stuff makes sense to me. I have regular conversations with people and I'm thinking, And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm like, really, this is interesting to you, right? But they don't do it every day, so it's very interesting to them. So we've got to step out of our little bubbles and explain some basic things that matter, with us in them, versus just assuming that people know. That's why when you guys are like, I don't know what to say, there's plenty to say.
Yeah.
Give me little stats on how much I should save, and give me, help me with different parts. If you're supposed to be my financial leaders, then give me some guidance and just random things that you're really good at.
Yeah. I appreciate that feedback. Veronica, why do you struggle with consistency, my friend?
It's just making it a routine of doing it repeatedly, making sure it's always, and I guess, and neglecting to put it on my calendar of this. I have to do this every day. So if I'm going to do videos every day, then put it on my calendar to do it. And I just, and that's really it. As far as like not knowing what to say, I mean, I've gone through ChatGPT, and I have really good lists of a daily, do this on this day, this day, this day, this day, for what to post on Facebook and stuff. Is just being consistent and doing it all the time, making sure I have it scheduled. So I think I sometimes feel like maybe it's not reaching people, or how do I keep track of it? I don't know. I just
You're overthinking it. You're overthinking it. So it doesn't motivate me to have something on my calendar. What motivates me is being able to highlight something off of a list. So maybe this is what needs to motivate you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And literally on here, it says video story, which is the app that does my reels. It says nails, AVM, and then a bunch of names, 4 agreements, which I needed to read again. By the way, if you didn't read it, it takes literally 90 minutes. So please read it. Like, it doesn't motivate me to have things. I need things on my calendar so I remember and so I can schedule things, but it motivates me, Veronica, to have something to cross off or to write something down on. So perhaps it's this. If you have a to-do list that says Facebook post, right? Then maybe that would make you feel a little bit more motivated to do it. So I think that maybe you're just overthinking it. Also, you'll notice on my to-do list, which I kind of love, it says, thing today I'm grateful for, must do today. So big rocks, and then total leads conversion, things like that. So like I constantly am keeping up on those things because it's on my to-do list. It's just the way that I keep track of things. On Tammy Bell's, for those of you that don't know Tammy Bell, it has a grid of waters, like little cups of water. So she knows if she's drank 8 glasses of water that day. It has a little picture of vitamins to make sure she's taking her vitamins. And then it says, I love loans at the top. Because sometimes we need a reminder that we love loans. And that's just the way Tammy works. So potentially, Veronica, we're making the sales test our own, that putting post on Facebook at 7 a.m. on your calendar isn't exactly the best way to go about things for you.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe when you have your team meeting with yourself in the morning and you brain dump everything and you put Facebook post down on it, and you're the type of person that likes to highlight off your list, maybe that'll motivate you to get it done.
Yeah. I'll start doing that today.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more and then I think that I don't know that how long, if this was supposed to be an hour. John Clock, Mr. Clock. Something on the sales test that you're not doing that you think you could be doing. Your mic broken, John? Okay. How about Logan? I'm gonna let you off the hook, but you're gonna have to call me. No, I'm just joking. Logan, what are you not doing that's on the sales test that you think you could do and it would bring you some joy and some excitement?
Well, I think the first thing that really hit me was that in being honest with myself, I'm realizing some of these, I'm like, God, I'm so close to doing it 100% of the time, and I just haven't been. With like 3 or 4 of them, and just realizing like what a waste of like effort and energy if I'm gonna half-ass some of these things. So like for instance, thank you cards, like I probably average 5 to 6. Why am I not just taking the extra 10 minutes to get to 10?
Mhm.
And same thing with, yeah, just a lot of these. I'm like, I've put in a lot of effort so far. Why am I not putting in that little extra effort to just really get to where I want to be?
Mhm.
And thank you cards for me are an obvious one because it does make me feel good. I know that when I'm feeling overwhelmed or something, that gratitude is one of the ways to get out of my head and to make this a job that I really love doing. And so that's an easy one. Like, why don't I do something that makes me feel good?
Yeah. So you're gonna do well. I want you to pick a different one. What's something that you're not doing at all that you feel like you could add?
I like the idea of, I've never thought to do a happy hour with a referral partner. And once a month seems like that's an attainable, and it would be another reason to call is to find a referral partner to do it with.
Are you in an office by yourself? Holy moly, my phone. Are you in an office by yourself? Remind me.
No, Oceana's here with me.
Okay, why don't you and Oceana host monthly happy hours together?
It's something that we've had on our goal sheet and just kind of keeps getting pushed off.
Okay, that's an easy one that you can mark off, and it's easier to do when you're doing it with someone. I would argue if you're doing it with a referral partner, like unless you guys are just having a one-on-one happy hour, like that's not going to really get you very far, right? Like, because you could just have coffee with them, but like you and Osh could host a happy hour and invite 10 agents apiece, right? And have a room full of agents that you both could talk to, split the bill, and it's way easier. Justin St. Clair and I do that.
It's been on our calendar and moved several times now. So
I
choose that one. That's the one I choose.
So I want to tell you guys something real quick, and then I can let you guys go early. So we haven't done a true client appreciation client appreciation event here at the Eugene branch in quite some time. We have been very realtor focused. So we did a pie event all for realtors. We did a tailgate, all just invited industry professional and realtors. We didn't invite our past client database. We've really struggled with client appreciation events, and we decided to do one this year for Easter. We did it a few years ago. It was a huge success. For whatever reason, we didn't do it again. Decided to do it again this month. So mind you, we started marketing for it probably halfway through March. It was this Saturday. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 past client or PCRs, and that is not even a joke. This is my lead tracker right here. Leads. If that is not proof that I should start doing client appreciation events on a regular basis, I don't know what it is. So if you're not doing client appreciation events and we spent less than $1,000 on this Easter egg hunt, if you feel like it's something that you could do, we weren't doing it. I was saying yes on the test because I did the agent ones, the pie event and the tailgate, and then happy hours. Like I just marked yes. And I will tell you what, like we missed the boat probably for the last 2 years. So just a little tidbit there. Logan, you and Osh are on my list for your happy hours, just so you know. Jason, go ahead.
I raised my hand earlier when Veronica was talking. I was going to tell
I'm
her.
sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was one of the things that I learned. First of all, social media, and although important, is not nearly as important as making phone calls. And so if you that's your priority. So you said you struggle with consistency. I get it. Certain things like let's say pop buys at real estate offices, like having a milk route, those things take consistency. Because if you stop by an office one time every 8 weeks, it's really probably a waste of your time. Like you're not going to get a lot out of it unless you happen to have a really impactful conversation while you're there. But making phone calls are really important. Social media is very similar, where if you don't do it consistently, I'm not saying that it's not impactful, but it's if you're going to do it all the way. But also, if you just post a video that's really, really good, that has like some good information with a hook to where someone can call you and a link for them to do your online application or whatever, that one video can, that can create leads. So don't get too hung up. I think a lot of people like this. It's paralysis by analysis. Same thing when rates went down in September. How many people did a bunch of refis? I was able to book 7 refis because all I did was look. Instead of like creating a list and coming up with a plan for calling people and all these things, I went in my Encompass and sorted by rate and started calling the highest rates, and I got 7 refis booked. It's execution, just like anything else. And it's the same with social media. It won't look perfect. Who cares? Do a video on your iPhone, send it out. Don't care how you look, how you talk. Real humans mumble sometimes and stumble over their words. People like that. It makes you more real anyway. So just do it.
That's all I've got. Does anyone have any questions or concerns? Is Rebecca still on? Am I gonna get in trouble?
No, you're good. You can end whenever you want.
Okay.
Why don't you do some
really-
Q&A for people?
Ask me questions if you have questions.
Someone's
I'm gonna
gotta have
lower here.
questions.
What's one thing that you're not doing that you're going to start doing from the sales test?
Ooh. Let me look at it again. I probably will start. No, that's the wrong way to put that. When you set a goal, you need to say, I'm going to by this date. I think the client appreciation event was a huge eye opener for me, but I will start sending once a month evidence of success. The guy that does it makes it so freaking easy. I'm not great at letter of the heart. I can't make it, I can't kind of bring it home. So evidence of success mailed through the guy that Jim referred us to is something that is very easy for me to do within the 3 walls of my desk.
And how often are you doing that?
I'll do it once a month.
And who's the guy that Jim referred us to?
Oh, Jim's got a guy. We could probably get you. I don't know, Rebecca, is he still accepting referrals? He's a guy that you literally just email him what you want it to say and basically your past client database list, and he just says, okay, here's your invoice, and makes the postcard happen and sends it out. So he makes it really easy. Jasik, do you still use that guy? Yeah. And he's just literally like, got it. And then as long as you put your address on the list to make sure it's happening, you know it's happening. So Rebecca has that information, and I don't know if he's still taking referrals. I'm sure there's also websites that do it, if I'm being honest, but yeah. What else? How easy would it be to listen to 2 podcasts per month about business?
Yeah.
If you needed to generate like 10 leads today, what would you do right now?
I would sit down and make 30 phone calls.
Making all those phone calls work for me.
1 out of 3 gets a lead for you. That's pretty good. You should probably make more phone calls. You do a lot more business.
What would you do?
I would immediately plan a happy hour. I'd have a happy hour tomorrow, and I could get 20 realtors there tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. See, and this is what I'm saying. This is the difference between you and I, right? Like it's like pulling teeth to get people to come to my happy hour, and it's not really, people come, but like it's not something that I market it on social media. I will text them the day of, and if they come, they come. If not, I'm not heartbroken by it. But if I sit here and intentionally make 30 phone calls and say the words, Tracy Ricketts, do you have anyone that I can help today? I don't know if I'd get to 10, but I know I'd get a few.
I think one of the biggest things with happy hours, and I'll shut up and quit after this, but a lot of I have found being a satellite, and like I'm 3.5 hours away from the Eugene branch, even though I'm part of the Eugene branch. I have to do everything on my own, right? I don't have Dave and Robin to throw a happy hour for me to join. And I think that that's a benefit to me, because a happy hour that I throw is a Jasik Lispy happy hour. And I think a lot of times people invite people to a happy hour, but it's not theirs, so they don't have as much ownership in it. And I think that in bigger branches, it's more of a struggle. If I create a happy hour, it's all mine. It's my responsibility. They're coming to support me. And it's not like I come and pop in at a happy hour or say hi, shake hands, kiss babies, and leave. It's like, no, I'm responsible for setting it up and being there the whole time and then leaving. And then the other big thing is always have a point in your happy hour where you stop everyone from talking, say something like, thank you guys so much for coming. I'm honored that you guys came to my happy hour. We have a couple little gift cards that we're going to do drawings for. Hopefully everyone has their business card in this bowl that I'm going to draw from. I have a $20 Starbucks card and a $50 gift card to this restaurant. Here we go, and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of it, hey, just a reminder, I love hanging out with you guys so much. I know we're all friends, but realistically, the reason I'm having these happy hours is so that I can do more business. So if anybody has any leads that they can send me tonight, I'm in a contest. I'm actually competing against Loren LaVassaur right now to do more loans than her. And a lot of my realtors know who Loren is because they're really plugged into Summit. So I'll be like, hey, send me all your leads. I'm trying to beat Loren. Number two, I have 4 kids. You know how expensive they are. Oh my gosh, they're growing out of their shoes every day. It feels like I really need to close more business. So please send me your leads. Hey, and then I'll be like, literally like any old leads, dead leads, Avelia, give them to Avelia. We'll follow up tomorrow and ask.
For the record, we're tied right now year to date. So there, make the sales test your own. That's the J. Gillespie way. All right, my friends, I'm going to give you 4 minutes back. I truly hope this is helpful. I in no way am implying not to do certain things on the sales test. My goal here is to tell you to do the things that bring you joy at 100%. Do them really, really well. Okay. Thank you all. I'm going to see you in May, and I'm so excited.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.